प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः। गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपारकरुणासिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। परित्यज्य मौनं वठादस्थितिं च व्रजन् भारतस्य प्रदेशात् प्रदेशं मधुस्यन्दिवाचा जनान् धर्ममार्गेण यन् श्रीजयेन्द्रो गुरुर्वातिचित्ते। नमामः शङ्करान् वाक्यविजयेन्द्रसरस्वतीं श्रीगुरुं शिष्टमार्गारुणेतारं सन्मतिप्रदं सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम. Here in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna is describing the Atma Lakshanam to Arjuna. In fact, we have seen the last couple of shlokas. In the last class, we have seen the same shlokas again. Atma, it is not an object. Why these shlokas are very, very important is that even after listening to all these shlokas, our mind will always try to objectify the Atma. So, we have a subject, we have an object. If I say a car, normally when I say any object, say an example, a car, what we will have in our mind is the moment, as long as, as soon as we hear the word car, our mind will try to make an object out of this very simple word. Car, it will have 4 wheels, it will have seats, 4-seater, 6-seater, 7-seater, 8-seater, a Tesla car, a self-driving car, whatever car that comes to our mind, many car will come to our mind. In the same way, even if we tell any object, whatever the object that are present in this universe, the moment I tell the name, our mind, it is the master of objectifying things. It will objectify everything. Right? Even if that thing is absent from the universe. Right? If I say a one-horned horse, a one-horned horse is completely absent. You have not seen, I have not seen, nobody has not seen a horse with a horn. But when I say a horse with a horn, our mind can imagine a horse with a horn. The other day I was trying with I was trying with the AI imaging feature in WhatsApp. I'm pretty sure we all use WhatsApp, and there is a WhatsApp thing called as Meta, if I remember the name right. You go to that chat with Meta, and then you put /imagine, and then you can type something. It will try to bring that image. It will try to create that image through AI. And I was playing with that, and then I say, okay, imagine a DNA playing a car, a DNA driving a car. It actually gave me a pretty decent image of that. Our mind is like that WhatsApp Meta AI image creator. Whatever the thing that we hear, it can be a name, it can be a situation, right? Whether it existed, whether it does not exist, whether it will never exist. Right? There are certain things which does not exist now, but which may be existing in future. We have to imagine that. Imagination is both the bless and the curse of the mind. Imagination is both the blessing of the mind, it is also the curse of the mind. Without imagining, all these inventions would have not been possible. Who would have thought we can have a Bhagavad Gita class where I am sitting in one corner of the world, you guys are sitting in the other corner of the world? All these were possible because of a person's imagination or a group of people's imagination, group of people's objectification. So our mind can objectify, our mind can imagine things which may not be true at that moment, but it will be true later in future. All these words, Shastra has got words for it. I'm not going to confuse you guys with all these technical terms right now. I'm going to use technical words, confusing technical words, but later. But now just know these concepts, right? Our mind can imagine existing things. I don't have to explain that how. Our mind can imagine things which are not existing right now, but which has got a possibility for existence in future. All these inventions and all will come in that category. Okay, imagine a technology where even when we are having class, like right now we are not seeing at one another, even if we see it is going to be a two-dimensional picture, in future there will be a place where hologram technology will be there. I will be sitting near you, you will be sitting near me, in front of me, everything will look three-dimensional. So this type of imagination we can do, which is not existing right now, that is fine, but it will exist in future. But our mind can also imagine a third category where things never exist. Even in future, that does not have a possibility of existing. One-horned horse and all will come under that category. Even evolutionary one-horned horse is not possible for existing. But our mind can imagine all these things. Okay. So our mind is a very, 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 very powerful tool. The problem with the mind is that the moment we say Atma, the mind will start imagining the Atma. The moment the mind starts imagining the Atma becomes an object of our mind. Right? I see things. Right? I see a cell phone. The cell phone becomes object of my eyes. Right? When I say I see a cell phone, what does it mean? It means that the cell phone is the object of my eyes, number one. Through the eyes, it becomes object of my mind. I hear a noise. Right? You are listening to Bhagavad Gita class. You are of course listening to the voice that comes from your computer or cell phone, whatever. The object, the voice, the sound becomes the object of your ears. That is how we hear things, right? So we have got 5 sense organs, and these 5 sense organs has got sense objects. The 5 sense organs has got sense objects. Those sense objects become the object of these 5 sense organs. And then we have got mind. What is mind? Even if none of these 5 sense organs capture certain things, My mind can imagine. Imagination that becomes an object of my mind. I'm asking all of you guys to sit straight. Close your eyes. Right. Imagine a lotus flower. Lots of upasanas are based on this feature of our mind. There is going to be a lotus flower in your heart. And in that lotus flower, Bhagavan and Ambal are sitting in the center. It can be Shiva Parvati. It can be Mahavishnu and Mahalakshmi. They are sitting inside. We can imagine that, right? A lotus flower, and in the middle of the lotus flower, some Swami is sitting. What we are doing is that thought is becoming an object of our mind. Thought becomes an object of our mind. So the moment we say our mind has got this capacity, the power to convert words into objects. And that is a problem with Vedanta, because in Vedanta, the teaching happens with the words. It has to be learnt from a guru. And that guru cannot sit in silence. The guru, we are not Dakshinamurti. Only for Dakshinamurti, he sits in silence. The Sishyas gets their doubts removed. Why that is, we will see in a different place. Why Dakshinamurti sits in silence, all the Sishyas gets removed of their doubt. Actually, it is because of this. The moment the guru opens his mouth, our mind tends to objectify the thing. And Atma cannot be objectified. That is why Dakshinamurti symbolically sits in silence. That is why Dakshinamurti symbolically sits in silence. But for our normal mortals like you and I, the Guru has to open his mouth. Tadvitti pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshandi te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. Later Bhagavan Krishna is going to tell how to get Atma Jnana. You have to go to a Guru. The Guru has to open his mouth. The Guru will say Tattvamasi. You are that. Tattvamasi is a Vedantic Mahavakya. The Sishya has to, it is called as an Upadesha Vakya, because the Guru does the Upadesham. Tat Tvam Asi. You are that Brahman. The Sishya will understand that as Aham Brahmasmi, Anubhava Vakya. Hey, I am that Brahman. So there has to be words involved in this transaction. Guru has to speak, Sishya has to listen. Right. Parikshalokan karmachadan brahmano nirvedamayat tad vijnartam sa gurumeva abhigajjet samitpanihi shrotriyam brahmanishtham, says Upanishad. If you want to understand about Atma, Guru Mikenaiva is the only possibility. Right? We will not sit in meditation, Atma pops up. That will never happen. It has to happen from Guru. But the problem with learning from Guru is that the moment we hear a word, we will tend to objectify that. And Atma is not an object. Atma is the very subject. The moment we tend to objectify the Atma, okay, Atma will have this color, Atma will make this sound, it ceases to be Atma. The Atma, how do you know? Then how will people know Atma exists? How will we know any object exists? We know any object exists because we can see, we can hear that object, we can see that object, we can taste that object, we can touch that object, we can imagine that object. Either with our five sense organs, organs of senses, or with our mind, we can objectify that thing. I know my cell phone exists. Why? Because I can see the cell phone. Cell phone becomes an object of my eyes. Only then I will know that cell phone exists. Right? I can, even if I don't see a bird, I know that the bird exists. Why? Because I can hear the sound of the bird chirping. It can either be a crow or a quail or a parrot, whatever it can be, I can hear that. So when I hear that, I know that okay, it exists. I know that somebody is cooking very nice gulab jamun in my kitchen. I have not seen that gulab jamun. How? Because I can smell that gulab jamun. Right? We know things exist because it becomes object for our sense organs. Because the things, they become an object for our, one or many of the sense organs. Apart from these things, there will be things that exists in mind. When people die, they say he is present in our memory. When people die, they say he is present in our memory, in memory. What is presenting in memory? That person is present in our mind, right? Even though we cannot see, hear, touch, smell, or feel that person, I can imagine that person in my mind. So we know that anything exists. We know that any concept, any object exists because it becomes an object for either of our five sense organs or to mind. But now I have told that Atma does not become an object for our sense organs. Atma does not become an object for our mind as well. Atma is neither an object for sense organs, Atma nor becomes an object for mind. How do you know, sir? Is it your imagination? No. We have seen certain words before. Anashinaha aprameyasya. Antavanta ime deha nityasyokta sharirinaha anashinaha aprameyasya tasmat yuddhasva bharata. Like that, there are lots of words, that we have seen, that we are going to see in future as well. Mano vacha magochara यतो वाचो निवर्तन्ते अप्राप्य मनसा saha. Yato vacho nivartante, that which cannot be spoken by words, aprapya manasa saha, that cannot be grasped by your mind. Okay, aprameya, aprameya svaprakasha manovacha magochara chichaktis chetana rupa jarashaktir jada chichaktis chetana rupa, etc. All these things that say Atma does not become an object for our mind. Atma does not become an object for our sense organs. Now we have to think, okay, if Atma does not become an object, how do we know Atma exists? Because previously we have seen whatever that exists, we know that it exists because of our sense organs and mind. Here Krishna says Atma does not become the object for your sense organs. Atma does not become an object for your mind as well. Now we have to ask, how do we know Atma exists if it does not become an object at all? The answer is hey, Atma does not become an object, that is fine. But there has to be a subject who receives the object. There has to be a subject. There has to be a subject who is going to witness the object. Only when there is a subject, all the object will have a meaning. Right? That is cell phone. Okay. If I am sleeping, even one cell phone, even if 1,000 cell phones are there, I will not be able to perceive the presence of that cell phone. You keep 100 cell phones near a dead body, right? You keep 100 cell phones near a dead body. Will the dead body perceive any one of the cell phone? No. Dead body cannot perceive any cell phone. Why? Because the body is not blessed by Atma anymore. The body ceases to be blessed by Atma anymore. So that subject is not there. Right? I am going to negate the last sentence. I am going to negate the last sentence. Krishna is negating that in the next shloka, but I am not going to negate it in this class. We will see that concept in the next class. Okay, but right now you guys understand that. Right now we understand that we know that Atma exists because we experience all these different things through the Atma. Pratibodha viditam madam, says Shastra. How do I know Atma exists? Because I have all these different experiences in my waking up state, in my dream state, in my deep sleep state. We all experience these three states. One is waking up state. I hope all of us are waking up right now. All of us are awake now. We hear Bhagavad Gita, we see the screen, etc. The next state is dream state. When we dream, we experience certain things in our dream, but it is only our experience. Then other person who sleeps with us cannot experience our dream. The third state is called as deep sleep state. The third state is called as a deep sleep state where there is seemingly no experience. A person has got very nice good night sleep. The next day he wakes up and then we ask, hey, how did you sleep? The person will answer, hey, I slept very nicely. I slept peacefully. I slept very, very nicely without any dream. How do you know you slept very nicely? How do you know you slept very, very peacefully? There has to be a witness even when we have this deep sleep state. There has to be a witness even when we have a deep sleep state where even dreams are absent. Shastra gives technical terms for all these things. Jagrat, Swapna, and Sushupti. Jagrat means wake up state. Swapna means dream state. Sushupti means deep sleep state even where there is no dream. And Shastra will give names for these states as well. Shastra has got names for these three states and the person who enjoys these three states as well. Vishwarupa Jagarini, Swapanthi Taijasatmika, Shupta Prajnatmika. This is from Lalita Sahasranama. Vishwarupa Jagarini. Now we will only see the names of the state. We are not going to see what is Vishwa, what is Taijasa, what is Prajna and all. So Jagarini, Jagradavastha means waking up state. Vishwarupa Jagarini. Swapanti, Swapna means dream state. Swapanti Taijasatmika, Supta Prajnatmika. Supta, Sushupti means deep sleep state without any dreams. So even in these three states, we experience different things. But we cannot experience the Atma. Why? Because Atma is the experiencer who experiences all these things. Why I have to, all these things are not present in Bhagavad Gita right now as a shloka. But I wanted to tell all of these because it happens to all the new entrants into Bhagavad Gita, new entrants into Vedanta, especially because Krishna is talking about Atma Swarupam in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And when we study about these Atma Swarupam, again our mind will tend to objectify that Atma. Right? There will be two possibilities. One, we will be looking for Atma inside. I want an Atma experience. How will I get Atma experience? சாகரத்துக்குள்ள ஒரு தடவையாவது எனக்கு அந்த ஆத்மாவை பார்த்துடணும். Atma should give its darshan to me. All of these things we will start praying. Or we will be studying these shlokas as if it is explaining about something else completely external to us. Both of these notions are wrong. When we study these shlokas, we have to study that, hey, I am not studying about something else. I am studying about my own self. Wherever it says Atma, Dehi, etc., you have to cross that and write a big I. Dehi Nityam Avadyoyam. It is not Dehi, I am Nityam, I am Avadyaha. Right? So, Shariri, it is not about Shariri, it is about me. We have to have that in our mind. And this is the problem with the new entrance of Vedanta, because we will not think that, hey, he's talking about me. So that is why I have this separate session where I try to explain that Krishna is not talking about some other object. Krishna is talking about our own self. All these are my nature. That is why later Krishna is going to say, Ascharyavat pashyati kaschitainam, Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyaha, Ascharyavat chaiva manya shrunoti, Shrutvaapyenam vedana chaiva kaschit. Hey Arjuna, all these are Ascharyam. People will think that they will understand. They have understood, but they have not. It is going to come later. We will see. We will resume the shloka wise Bhagavad Gita the next class. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari